Hello! This is probably one of the stranger videos I've done lately. As you may or may not know, the Euro Bowl in Blood Bowl Tabletop is happening later in October. It's happening in Sweden, and we are going to try our damnedest to actually cast it and stream it live on Twitch. So, a month ago at this point, I went to Lochmund, and him and a friend played some Blood Bowl Vampire versus Lizardmen. We recorded the first half of that game, and this is just a proof of concept. You're not going to see everything because I'm just going to cast a few turns. The quality of what I'm going to show you is not the quality that I'm going to be using when I'm actually casting the Euro Bowl. It's one of the things I've already realized. We need to up the quality to be able to see what's going on the pitch. So I'm swapping from a webcam, probably going to a GoPro instead, if you want to be nerdy about it. Also, the graphics are kind of like, I made them in 2 minutes. They probably won't get much nicer, though, because I'm not a mastermind when it comes to graphics. But hopefully you'll understand what's going on. If you have any comments, let us know in the comments below. Like I said, the quality of the footage isn't great. I think it's probably kind of hard to see what's going on in some parts, and that will hopefully be fixed once I improve, well, get another camera. But here we go. Ow. Okay, and we're joining the game just as Lochmund has set up his vampire team for the defense. He's running 4 vampires. They are the color blue, yellow, red, and green. And you can see that on the ribbons that are attached to the player bases. The rest of the players are, of course, thralls. His opponent, pretty easy there. All the Sorai or Sorases have block, and that's all the skills that are available in this format. You cannot have more than one skill, added skill, per player. But that's something we'll go through properly once we get into Euro Bowl. In this case, it's been set up properly on the line. Lochmund's players do have different skills. There's the handshake. Lochmund's vampires, starting with blue, has block. The second one has dodge. That is the red one. And the one in the middle, yellow, has guard. We can see that the kick has been kicked and it has scattered. That's a short kick, but that's not surprising considering one of Lochmund's thralls has kick. That is the pink thrall. The other thralls have dirty player on purple, and white has wrestle. And then, of course, light green has leader as well. And we can see the light green thrall behind the vampires there. A bit of an, I'm not going to say unorthodox setup by Lochmund. I haven't seen it before. Having all the vampires, of course, on the LOS is normally, if you're playing in a perpetual league, something you don't want to do. But this is a resurrection tournament, so every player comes back after every game, and that's a 2, and it finally scatters. I'm realizing I'm a bit not go along with the flow, but hopefully I'll get better with practice. The Lizardman runs over and bases the ball straight away to make sure that no stinky vampires can run through quickly if horrible things happen. Of course, since the ball is on the sideline there, if they fail to pick it up, it might scatter out and end up somewhere else. And of course, the vampires do have that skill, Hypnotic Gaze, which means they can remove tackle zones, so they can actually get through these double stacked players if they want to. Okay, so the Crocs is going to punch, and Crocs has Bonehead. That works. Here comes the blocked ice. And that's a push and a both down on the guard piece. And the Crocs follows up. Of course, the Crocs does have prehensile tail, making it harder for the vampires to dodge out. Here we go. More blocks. And that's a both down and a block. And blue? Yes, blue does have block. And so does the Saurus, so nothing happens. Here we go, and the last block on the LOS, and that's a push and a both down, and that vampire does not have block. So, we'll see what happens. The vampire has been placed on the ground. Here we go. Armor value is a 6. That is not good enough to break armor. And the final block on the line, I lied. I thought there was enough, but that's a POW and a defender stumbles, and another vamp bites the dust. Get it, bites. Wow, I'm talking quickly. That's a 4. Apparently armor value 8 is, well, you just can't break it. They are on the floor though, so better than nothing. Let's see. Okay, here comes the blitz. And we have the sword going for the final vampire that was on the LOS. And that's a both down and a skull again. Lockman really being punished here for not having more than one block piece. And that's unfortunate we didn't see that other die, but rest assured one of them was a 1, so that's just a stun. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so the blitz has block, but of course they can move. Okay, so basing the light green, that's the leader, and then moving forward towards the other thralls here. And that's a failed pickup, and the ball scatters. Luckily for the lizardmen, it didn't scatter out, but it's not in the hands of the lizards, and of course that's what they want. Now, I don't think the vampires do have, I don't think they have enough movement to actually get over there. If we do a quick count, we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is currently the closest thrall, and of course they can't dodge through. They could with some help from Hypnotic Gaze, but that's going to be difficult. Hopefully, by the way, when I do this live, I'll be able to draw on the camera, which will be a lot easier for everyone. So, Lockman is taking his time here, trying to figure out what he wants to do. And that's a blitz on one of the skinks, going for the classic strat here of knocking out the skinks so the Zorax can't do anything. And of course, vampires do have... Ooh, that is not what he wanted. However, that player does have Pro. Using it didn't work, so we're going to go for a push. And follows up. Okay. Moving some more thralls around here. And blocking with the leader thrall, if I'm not mistaken. And that's at least 1 POW. Going through the dice tower there. That's a decent result for Lockman, I'm sure. Knocking down one of the Saurus, that's not easy to do. 7, not good enough, unfortunately. And we're going to stand the vampire up. That's the red one. That red one has dodge. Bloodlust succeeds. And let's see if the dodge is any good. This is off a Croxigore, so it's a 3+. And it works. So another vampire is free, but of course only has 2 movement left. And then needs to start doing GFIs. We'll see if Lockman decides to threaten the ball. Oh, and here comes the Hypnotic Gaze. And it's good. So putting a proper base on so we can see who's actually hypno-gazed. This is, of course, a lot more important in tabletop where, you know, you don't have swirly effects going over players' heads. Okay, and using a reroll here. Unsure what's happening, but that's a dodge out. So that was a reroll on the Bloodlust, if I'm not mistaken. And the dodge works fine because, of course, that sword does not have a tackle zone anymore. So it is a 3+. Okay, turning all the players to indicate that they have moved. And it's now Lizardmen's turn again. Turning some of them over. Once again, showcasing perhaps the differences here between... you know, tabletop and the digital version. And the Crocs stands up and makes a move. everything seems to be working out okay so far. And once again, basing that renegade vampire to at least get some prehensile tail, making it harder to dodge out. That is, of course, the blue vampire, and the blue vampire has blocks, so that's the scary one for the skinks, especially since they only need 1 assist to run over and get 3 die blocks on the skinks. Okay, we've started blocking. The Hypnogasaurus has woken up, and that's a good block. On red, does have dodge, but of course does not have blocks, so both down works well. That is a 7. That does not break armor. Okay. Debating a bit what to do here, and here comes the blitz. Now that's a block on the other vampire. Here possible to push the vampire into the crocs, and that works. Pow is also good. No, that is not, I'm sorry, that is not the vampire. That is the white wrestle piece. So that's a thrall. Of course, the vampires are actually harder to block here because normally Soras are alone on the pitch with having strength 4, or at least there aren't as many other pieces that have them. The vampires do have the stat line of 6, 4, 4, 8, hopefully, otherwise that'll be awkward. But they are stronger than the average players, of course. All the thralls here going down, but it seems like their armor stays strong for now. That's a lot of miniatures that are just on the floor. Okay, here we go. Let's see if once again blocking with the skink, and here comes the pickup. Let's see if it's good this time around. It is. That's a 6. So the ball finally in the hands of the lizard men here. And they are speedy. Standing next to one of the vamps. That is a ballsy move, if I read that correctly. Yes, I did. So the lizardmen really want... Well, they got a POW, and that's good enough. But had they gotten, for example, well, a skull or both down, it would have been slightly scarier. That's a 4. Once again, armor staying strong. Me refueling with tea. Okay, and it's Lockman's turn 2 here, and since this is just a test, I think we'll end it after this turn, but we'll see what he can make of the situation. Of course, the lizardman did put the ball in a position that's at least semi-close to the vampires. That's... oh, that's on an angle. Let's see again, and that's a skull. So Defender stumbles it is. Defender stumbles, of course, doesn't do anything against skinks because they have dodge. The vampire electing to not follow up here. Okay, and green being the pro piece. Let's see if Bloodlust... Nope, Bloodlust does not happen. And here's another Hypnogase. I don't think that works. The vampire being in 2 tackle zones, making it harder to Hypnogase. That's a 1. I'm pretty sure that was a Bloodlust roll. Otherwise, he wouldn't be rolling, surely. And here comes the reroll. And it's good. And a Gase. And apparently the Gase is good. Okay, so that does free up another Thrall, if I'm not mistaken here. Yes. And of course, we do still have light green here in the back. That is the leader Thrall. Less important now, since leader was used on the first turn. We can see that in the top of the screen, where we have the turn counters and the reroll counters. That's a 2. And a dodge out with red. Red does have dodge, so this might work out well. That's a 2. That works because there is no... Or does it? Okay, yeah, it does. Right, because... wait. I'm pretty sure I'm mistaken somewhere. Oh, because, yes, I'm mistaken in that I'm seeing skinks where there are thralls. Okay, no confusion left. And here comes the dodge with the block piece, and it's good. 3 is what they need. Running around here again, gazing another skink, just for the sake of gazing them, I'm sure. And that apparently worked as well. One of the things we have to make sure once we actually cast this properly, that the dice tower is always visible. And that's the end of Lockman's turn. And after 2 turns, we can see that the skinks are holding on to the bowl. They are standing next to 1 vampire. But hopefully they should be able to clear off. And then we'll see what the lizardmen want to do. Are they going to push forward quickly and get that touchdown? Or more likely going to stall it out until turn 8 and see if they can grind down the thralls on Lockman's team. That's it. Hopefully you've, well, I don't know if you've liked this first attempt at casting some Tabletop Blood Bowl. I realized I had to talk quite a lot. Let me know in the comments below if you have any friends that might be interested. Give them a shout and ask them what they think. Now, I did go for a more people that know what's actually going on with Blood Bowl. I didn't explain too much, at least I didn't feel like it. I think since it's tabletop, it's extra nerdy, I think it's going to be very hard to explain too much, but we'll see on the day. And like I said, the quality here, not super great, but think more of positions with the players and stuff like that. Hopefully it was eligible. I'm sure YouTube makes it slightly worse as well and everything, but yeah, my new and improved setup will look nicer than this. So hopefully I'll see you at the Euroball stream. Goodbye for now.